Hi everyone, it's Cindy from Shenandoah Papercraft, and I am going to do Inspired by Pinterest number 2 today. I'm still scrolling through Pinterest and I'm pulling out cluster ideas, and I came across this one the other day and I thought it was gorgeous, very vintage, and this is what it looks like. When I clicked on the picture on Pinterest, it took me to the Graphics Fairy site, which is thegraphicsfairy.com. And it was an article called DIY Vintage People Clusters. It was written by Diana, and it's on the Graphics Fairy website. So you can go straight to the website and see the whole thing there. I saw this and loved all the layering she did. There's what I'm seeing is some like book page and a ticket and then a frame. And then she put some greenery in there and a little bit of flowers. She used it could be a Tim Holtz. It doesn't look like Tim Holtz, but you could use one. A cutout Victorian girl and a clock or a watch and some words, a stamp, and a butterfly. And it's just very gardeny and very vintage. And I took one look at that and I thought, I can do an Alice one because eventually I'm going to be working on a vintage Alice book. So the first thing I did after I saw this was start, going down that rabbit hole and trying to find some pictures that I thought might work for an Alice theme. And these are the 4 I originally came up with. I have this little girl and this little girl, vintage cabinet cards, and then I found 2 vintage photos of real rabbits. And I'm going back and forth, and I really love her, but this one has a little apron on just like Alice, and she has the long hair. So I thought, this one is more Alice-y to me. And between the 2 rabbits, this one's sitting and this one's standing, I thought the standing rabbit would be more in keeping with Alice because there the animals walk around, they talk, they're clothed. This one's more people-like than this rabbit here. So I narrowed it down to this girl and this rabbit, and I practiced printing on, all sizes and stuff. And I finally came down to ending up shrinking the background on this one, or cropping it to get a better close-up of her. So that's what I used for Alice. And then I printed several of them. I cut her out. She's about the same size as a Tim Holtz doll. So I cut her out, and then I took a blue pencil and I just kind of highlighted special parts with Alice blue because we all know she wears blue. So I did that. So there's my Alice. Then I played with the sizes of the rabbits. Now I didn't want the rabbit to be the same size as Alice, so I did shrink them down to about that size. So there's my Alice and my rabbit. Now, let's start on the background here. It looks to me like there's a book page and a ticket and then a frame. So there's like 3 background pieces that are large. She has put greenery behind her paper doll and maybe butterfly and some flowers and a stamp and then a clock on her, or a timepiece. So I was looking at all these different layers, and I actually clicked on the Graphics Fairy article and read it, and to my surprise, she actually redid everything. This is one piece. So all you have to really do, and she did it in 2 sizes. Here's a smaller version and the larger version. So all you really have to do if you want to make this exact one is to cut these 4 pieces out and glue them right on there. But I decided, not me, I'm going to go for the full look of layering. So my next step was to find a frame I liked, and I wanted something kind of Victorian looking and background kind of, not really an out there frame. So I did find this frame, which was ornate and floral and in black and white. I did not like the lopsided sides of it, so what I did was I printed it out, and then I cut the sides out the same, so you can see that these are even bigger. But I just made sure all the sides were the same width around. So that is going to be my frame part. Now the background pieces, I'm going to move this to one side. It's getting too busy. The background piece looked like a letter or some kind of ledger paper or something. I found an old book. Have you heard of Lydia Pinkham's Vegetable Compound? I'm not sure. I think that might be from 1910s or 20s, where this vegetable compound was given to children. It would perk them up and whatever. And there was a whole book of children's games with Lydia Pinkham's Vegetable Compound commercials written into all these articles. So I just pulled out the page. It says Game of Flowers on the top. And I'm going to use that for my background piece. And then for this part right here, what does Alice do? Well, she does a lot of things, but one of the things that Alice does is visit the caterpillar in the forest when she's shrunk down very small and she can fit under the mushroom. And I'm going to use that. This is my version. Again, I'm not trying to copy the original. This is just inspired by. So that's going to be my long piece in the back there. And then I'm going to offset this frame to one side, something like that. Alice will go somewhere here, like that. And then Mr. Rabbit over here somewhere. Don't know yet. And for her greenery, I chose not to use like leaves. I chose to use ferns because ferns are more foresty to me. So I found some ferns I liked and I just took them. They were like, it was like one of these kind of stickers, a double. So I just took off the top layer. Don't worry about that part because it's going to go right underneath her. And I'll stick that in there somewhere. And then here's the other piece, which I'll stick somewhere behind her. I'm not sure where yet. So I'm just trying to build here. Let's see. She has a stamp and some flowers here. I found a stamp in my stash that fits perfectly with the Alice theme. Do you remember painting the roses red? The pack of cards had planted white roses and the Queen of Hearts wanted red, so they got their paint can out and started painting the roses red. So that will take care of the stamp and the flowers part. And I'll put that probably down here. And it also sets off the red of the mushroom cap up there. So there's some more layering. Now, Mr. Rabbit is kind of a fussy rabbit, and he's always pulling out his pocket watch and saying, "Oh, my ears and whiskers, I'm late." So I printed his words instead of this long strip of words right here. These are the words that I'll be using, and I'll stick them in there somewhere. I don't know where yet. Then, for the watch part, I had this stamping set of timepieces and different sizes and clocks and stuff like that. And when I stamped it, it's kind of blah. I didn't really care for it. So I thought, well, gosh darn it, why don't I use the one that Diana made in her kit? She's got two sizes right here. There's the smaller one and then the larger one. So that's what I did. I cut them out and put them on cardstock. And then I haven't decided which one to use yet. Either the bigger one or the smaller one here. I could put the words up here. I haven't decided yet. But you can see where I'm going with it. I'm using this for my inspiration and then just kind of building my own thing over here. And then, oh, butterfly. This little butterfly can go up here too, because what happens is the caterpillar sits on top of the mushroom smoking his hookah, and right in front of Alice he turns into a butterfly and flies away. So we've got a few little Wonderland characters in here besides Alice. The white rabbit, the roses that were painted red, the caterpillar turning into a butterfly, and some woodland leaves here. So that is what I'm starting off with. Now, what I did last week, I think I have it here. Yeah. I did this, that's my hair. I did this inspired by last week, and that was inspired by number 1. And this is what I did. If you want to go see the video on how I put that together, this is the cluster I found by Sharon Bray. And this is my version of it, done with my own pieces that were in my stash. So this is fun. I think I'm thanking a few makers. Again, I think Amy at Crafty Cat did the inspired by tag, and so I'm using that. So let me pause the camera because I'm going to go ahead and do this off camera because I'm very slow with my hands right now, and I can't glue and talk, fumble things all over the place. So I'll be back in a few minutes and show you what I came up with. Bye-bye. Hello, I'm back, and this is what I came up with. And oh my gosh, I totally forgot that I had this actual timepiece face. So I dug that out and put that on there, and this is what I've come up with. And again, the words, the butterflies, the Stampin' Flowers, the greenery, the timepiece, and the girl, the frame, the backdrops. It's all here. It's just in a different configuration than the original. But I do hope that you will go visit the Graphics Fairy and find this. It's, let me pull this out again. Vintage People Cluster number 3 by Dream Factory for the Graphics Fairy. And again, it's called People Clusters. There's 3 of them, so there's 2 other clusters that go with this. So you might like, one of the other 2 better, but they're all beautiful. So I just wanted to say thank you. I do want to apologize for the shadows. I got a new setup and I'm not happy with it yet. So I'm still working on the lighting. So I apologize for little hand shadows and head shadows. But hopefully by my next video, those will be gone. So thank you. I hope you like my Alice. I think she turned out really cute. And the back side is just the back side of the other page of the book. And there we go. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.